What's going on, everyone? The Los Angeles Lakers hope to start this upcoming season with a big turnaround from last year. Last year was an absolute disaster, and there's still lots of unknowns when it comes to the Lakers, right? What is going to happen with Russell Westbrook? Does he get traded? Do the Lakers get Kyrie Irving? Do they do the Indiana Pacer deal? Do they do another deal to upgrade the team? Even if they stand pat, can Darvin Ham come in and implement a new culture, a new system, a new offense and defense? Will he be able to get Russ to be more effective, more efficient, and bought in? Will he be able to get LeBron and Anthony Davis? Will Anthony Davis stay healthy? Will LeBron stay healthy? Right? All of these things. What about the new players? Are they going to be able to come in? And yes, we got younger, we got more athletic, but are they going to be able to buy in? Are they going to be able to knock down threes at an efficient clip? There's a lot of concerns about just the shooting around this team. Defensively, they should be stout. But what about offensively? And can these three carry the load? And the Lakers will likely answer those questions as the season progresses. And many questions is, how and what will their record be? Will they be a playoff team? Will they be a play-in team? Will they be a deep playoff team? Are they a contender? You can never really rule out LeBron and Anthony Davis, especially if they're both playing at such a high level. Anthony Davis is playing bubble Anthony Davis. That dude was MVP level, arguably top 3 to 5 in the league at that level. Can he replicate that? Well, the Lakers are going to have their work cut out from them right from the jump. Now, the Lakers opened the season on October 18th against the Golden State Warriors. And right then and there, that is going to be a challenge. It's going to be an obstacle. The defending champions, right? That's the night that the Warriors get their rings. So there's going to be that incentive and that excitement and those emotions of like, look, we did it. People counted us out, and look, we're the ones that are the champions now. Let's go and start this season off by just smacking the Lakers and showing them what's up. And on the other hand, the Lakers, they have a ton to prove, right? They need to prove that they are here, that they're a team. They need an establishment game, and the Warriors would be that, right? The defending champions, you come out, you smack them in the mouth, you beat them on the ring ceremony day and just kind of spoil that moment, spoil that fun. You beat them on the road. What more could you ask for? That would be wonderful if you're the Lakers, right? LeBron has a big game. Davis has a monstrous game. This, that, and the other. That is what the Lakers need. They need that dominant, just early first game of the season performance from everybody, and just show we're here. This is a different season. This is a different team. This is a different coach. This is different everything. I'm a healthier LeBron. I'm a healthier Anthony Davis. Westbrook, I'm bought in. Like, let's do this. Let's go on a title run, right? Or whether they have Kyrie or whoever. Like, look, we're here. Like, let's make this happen. And it's going to be a tough task, right? Hopefully seeing the rings and wanting that and that drive and that motivation of last season, hopefully that can be the sort of Kickstarter and the fire lit under this Lakers team, and fire building in the Lakers' belly to deliver. Well, it doesn't stop there for the Warriors, because we also found out that the Warriors play the Clippers on the 20th. So that means their first two games, October 18th is against the Warriors, October 20th is against the Clippers. So right off the bat, the Lakers are playing arguably the two best Western Conference teams, and maybe even the two best teams in the entire league back to back. And so the Lakers have their work cut out from them from the opening jump. Are the Lakers going to start 2-0 and show that establishment, show that dominance, show, I don't care if we're playing the Warriors, the Clippers, the Bucks, the Celtics, anybody, night in and night out, we're here. We are a legit contender. We are a legit team. We are a real threat. And especially against a team like the Clippers, who have beaten you like 8 or 9 straight games, like, you need that establishment. The Clippers and their fans and everybody talking all high. You got Steve Ballmer's like, we're getting this new stadium, so people start taking us more serious, and they see that this is a Clipper town. Like, no matter what, it's never going to be a Clipper town. The Clippers could win the next 10 NBA finals, and it still wouldn't be a Clipper town, just because they don't have the history and the pedigree over the decades that the Lakers have. And it's just never going to happen. But they believe it will. And what better way to come out and just smack the Clippers in the mouth, smack the Warriors in the mouth? Are they going to be that team? Are they going to show, like, no, seriously, we're here. Like, this isn't, LeBron, I promised that we would not miss the playoffs ever again, that as long as I'm on this team, we're at least a playoff team. And here's the proof. We just smacked the Warriors. We just smacked the Clippers. We're 2-0, and then bring on the next opponent. Is that the Lakers we're going to see? That kind of Lakers? That's what I hope. Or are we going to see the Lakers that go 0-2 and have the excuses? It's early in the season, we're trying to figure it out. It's the two best teams in the league. Of course, it's going to be time for us to figure it out and get together and, hear all the excuses we heard last year about why the Lakers were terrible. Is that what we're going to see? Are the Warriors going to beat us by 20? Are the Clippers going to beat us by 20? Like, what is going to happen? Are the Lakers going to come out with a little bit of pride this year and show no, we are LA. This is our team. This is our city. That's the Lakers that I want to see. But all in all, the Lakers, they have to finish this series, these two games at bare minimum 1-1. They got to beat either the Warriors or the Clippers, bare minimum. They can't go start the season 0-2, even though they're playing the two best teams in the West. Ideally, you want them to go 2-0 and really, really dominate and accomplish. Now, if I had to guess or, put a wager on it, I'd probably take them to beat the Warriors because I think, one, the Lakers are going to be super motivated that game. Two, history says that the team that gets their reins and wins the championship usually lose that game because you got all the emotion and adrenaline. I mean, in all sports, not just in basketball. You can go look back at the history of, the NFL, NHL, baseball, the MLB, NBA, you look at it when the team that won the championship the previous year go into that game where they get their reins, whether it's the first game or the 10th game, they usually lose that game, which is really surprising. So history says that the Lakers will beat the Warriors. But what's going on with the Clippers? The Clippers for the last several seasons just seem to have the Lakers number, and they just keep beating them over and over again. And I think in all reality, the Clipper game is more important to win than the Warriors game. And because I think in general, people are going to look at it as okay, the Warriors, unless they just get blown out by 20 or 30 to the Warriors. But let's say it's a tight game. Let's say they even lose by 10, but it was it was going either way, for a majority of the game. Maybe just got carried away in the last 2 minutes or something like that. Fans, the NBA, everything in general, they'll look at that as, hey, the Lakers showed up. They came to play. Yeah, they lost, but they lost to the defending champions on the rain night, the emotion. Basically, the excuses will be able to start piling in. But when they go to play the Clippers, if they lose to the Clippers, that narrative is going to be oh, look, they can't beat the Clippers. That's 10 straight games, especially if they lose to the Warriors. Then it's oh no, the Lakers, once again, they're not elite. They're not a legit team. They can't beat the elite teams like the Clippers and the Warriors. And you're going to hear all that conversation and all that narrative. If they lose to the Warriors and they beat the Clippers, then I think that conversation changes. Yes, they lost to the defending champs, but look, they just beat the Clippers, who many think is the best team in the NBA. That they're just stacked front to back on paper. And they beat them after losing 8 or 9 straight times, whatever it is. Okay, this is a different Laker team. The narrative completely shifts. Now, whether that's true or not is yet to be seen because you need a larger sample size. But that will be the narrative. If they lose to the Warriors, that'll be the narrative. If they beat the Warriors and they lose to the Clippers, even though they beat the Warriors, the narrative will still be they lost to the Clippers and they can't beat the Clippers and the Clippers just have their number. And this is 10 straight games. They need to beat the Clippers. That is the team, in my opinion, that is the most important to beat and win and just sort of establish this Lakers team. Because if you lose to the Warriors, you can get away with it. I think that many people will look at it as hey, look, it's the Warriors. They just won the championship. They've beaten everybody. They could very well win the championship again this year. It makes sense. The Lakers aren't there yet, but maybe as the season progresses, maybe they'll get better, especially if it was a close game and they didn't just get blown out start to finish. You can see the conversation kind of being in the Lakers' favor for that. They lose to the Clippers, it's not going to be a good sign. It's not going to be good at all for them. But nonetheless, the Lakers need to come out. They need to beat the Warriors. They need, or at least, like I said, keep it close. Personally, even if they lose both of these games, if it's a close game and it's just okay, look, they lost by 5, they were in the game, it didn't go their way. I will completely understand that. Me personally, I don't know if everyone in Lakers Nation will feel the same way, but I will because I look at it as we got a brand new team, brand new coach, brand new system, brand new everything. Okay, you do have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's the constant. Obviously, if they have Kyrie, maybe my opinion would change a little bit. But even then, it's still new players, new team. Only constant is LeBron and Anthony Davis. If they have Westbrook, the way I would look at that is, hey, new team, new everything. They came in, they were really good, but they just couldn't close it out. They're going to improve as a team. Like, I need to see some real bright spots in those first two games. Because, again, you're playing arguably the two best teams in the league, or at least two of the best handful of teams in the league, and you're playing them back-to-back. I need to see those bright spots from the Lakers. I need to see the Lakers show that they can run with those guys. If they can show that early on, first two games of the season, even if they lose both of those games, I'm okay with that. Because it's early on, and I can see, if I can look at that and go, okay, you know what? Yeah, they lost, but like they were there. Like that's really good. These teams have been together forever. They have the camaraderie, they have the chemistry, they have the talent, they have the depth, they have everything. Like those are the two teams we're gonna have to beat in the playoffs if we want to go on a title run here. So what do those two games look like? If we lose, but they were good losses, because there are such things as good losses when you're talking an 82-game season. There are such things as good losses. If those are good losses, I can stomach that. I'll be okay with that. But if they go and they play the Warriors and they get, smacked start to finish, that's not a good loss. They go to the Clippers and they get smacked start to finish, it's not a good loss. They need to come out, establish themselves, establish that dominance, implement, run the offense, play some solid defense. If we can see them, like the bright spots of this team, like, okay, this is only the first two games. They looked great. If they can continue to build off of that and they can continue to grow, we are in a good spot. That's all we could really hope for with these Lakers. Now, absolutely, I am all of joy if they come out and they beat both of these teams. If they can beat both of these teams, then I think that would be fantastic. And it's not even so much that they beat both of the teams because it's early in the season. Look, it's the first two games of the year. I don't think that that's going to dictate the Lakers one way or another. If let's say they beat both of these teams by 30, I still don't think that it's like, okay, the Lakers are a contender. Look, they just beat two of the best teams in the... No, it's early in the season. 82 games is a long 82 games. A lot can happen. Anything could happen. They could fall apart. Warriors have the finals hangover. Clippers, they're just getting back. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. It could be a multitude of things. So it's not even about them beating these two teams. It's about the fact that the Lakers are showing, okay, we can beat these teams, yes, but they're showing that improvement, they're showing that growth, and it gives them something to build off of as the season continues. Where if they start 0-2, that's not a good foundation to build off of for the continuation of the season. Now, even if they go 1-1, but the games are close, like let's say they beat the Clippers, but they lose to the Warriors, but it's a tight loss. Again, that's a foundation that is great, that looks good, that they can use to kind of build off on for the future of this upcoming season. That's what I want to see. That's what I need to see established from this Lakers team. But at the end of the day, it's going to rest on these two guys' shoulders. Even if we get Kyrie, Anthony Davis is the X factor. Anthony Davis is the guy. He's going to be the engine that carries this team. LeBron is the car. LeBron is the vehicle. But Anthony Davis is the engine to get it going. So we need these two to really step up. But those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think about these two teams, the Clippers and the Warriors, being the first two teams that we have to play? Warriors on the 18th, Clippers on the 20th of October. Do you think, like, yes, I agree with you. We need to establish that. We need to come out with confidence, authority. Let's win this. Let's win these two games. Even if you split, okay. Which of the two teams do you think is more important to beat? Again, I really think the Clippers are the more prominent team that they need to beat. I just think that would give them a lot more confidence. It would steer the narrative a lot more in the Lakers' favor, which would be good, which is what you need with this new team that's trying to build some confidence, build some chemistry, stuff like that. I think that would give them a lot more to go off of than if they beat the Warriors and lose to the Clippers. Those are just my thoughts. So again, love to hear yours down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.